All right. Well, now that Matt is grabbing jalapenos, welcome to Wise Ass Water. I'm Marvell.
Oh, Janelle.
And we have two guest stars today.
Stars.
They are stars. Rock stars.
Not very bright, but I guess we can be a star.
Matt and Pat.
So Pat and Matt.
PMO.
PMO?
All right,
PMO?
here we go. Pat and Matt Operations. It's awesome. I think we're going to go over a little bit of cybersecurity today.
Where
I'm
would you
gonna
like to
ask-
start?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Let me give you a little background on Matt and Pat. They're operators at a level 1 facility. They have level 2 certifications for water operations. And we're only going to talk about water, not wastewater, so I just want to preface that now. And we're going to eat during the whole thing. And yes, Boss Hogs.
They didn't give me
Sandwich.
food.
Somebody ate
Because-
theirs already real quick.
Okay.
But Boss Hogs is going to get tagged in this. This is amazing. This is my first time having the Boss Hog sandwich, and it's really good. So we'll talk about that later.
They would
But,
almost make a good sponsor.
I-
If Boss Hogs,
That's
Winfield,
very
Kansas
true.
would come and sponsor
That is
something
very
water
true.
rise related. Not trying to throw that out there, but
Yeah, yeah. So I want to ask you guys a little bit about what you know about cybersecurity. What is your first thoughts when I say cybersecurity?
Don't click on that link.
Okay.
Yep,
I
old
like it.
old folks and emails.
Old folks and emails.
Yeah.
So, like, is it about clicking on a link in an email or just clicking on something like doing a Google search and just clicking on a random site?
I usually think about email.
Email?
I think about the Saudi princes giving me their life savings because they got terminal cancer or something like that.
Yeah.
Pulled my name out of a hat.
Okay. So, for you guys and all of the different things that you do for not only WaterWise but for the city that you work for,
Apparently
When it-
Marvell doesn't want to disclose who you work for.
Undisclosed. Don't look at our
undisclosed,
shirts.
don't look at the shirts. I can't. I'm not gonna bring it up. You know
Maybe
what I
it'll be
mean?
backwards on the camera.
I'm gonna blur that out.
That's all right.
I mean, draw parts.
Can you change our voice too and blur our face?
I probably could.
Okay. Okay.
I'm a cyber guy. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
He gets the high voice. I want the low voice.
Where was I at? Oh yeah, on the clicking of the button. So, what if I said it's a little bit more than that? Like more than just clicking on a link. Think of something that you do almost daily, besides for going on a computer, that you touch.
Cell
Basically,
phone.
that's cell phone. Absolutely.
Come up with another one. Well, I think.
Now let me ask you this: is your cell phone on the network?
Is in
On
Wi-Fi?
the city's network?
Mm-mm.
No.
Well, we're connected to.
If you're on Wi-Fi, are you on the network?
Then yes. Well, they just switched over to where they shoot the Wi-Fi from the city building directly across the street to us.
Well, that's,
Remember that thing we talked
Yeah.
about? They did that.
oh, that's awesome.
So we're all on one big network now. So
It's all one big network.
yeah.
What kind of stuff do you keep on your computer at the office?
Just
I mean, I
legal
don't want to
stuff.
go. If it's too sensitive,
That's
we don't wanna
classified.
go- yeah, I should say if it's
Classified.
classified. I don't want to
Mostly.
talk about those things.
Yeah,
but
it's mostly emails,
Passwords for everything.
form letters.
form letters, things like that, right? Okay, so imagine this. Okay, Billy Bob, whoever. I don't want to make fun of
Thornton.
anybody's
Billy
name,
Bob
so
Marvell.
please don't say that.
I was going to say Thornton. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is an external user that's like, I'm going to get on the network. I'm a hacker, and I'm going to go in there and find the most vulnerable spot to use. What would that be? An unsecured computer, maybe?
Well, you could just hook up to the. You could go park in front of the city building and hook up to the Wi-Fi and start recording keystrokes from the city clerk and get every login thing for anything.
Man, I think you've been to a cyber class, haven't you?
No. But that's what if
Here's my
That's
IT.
true.
I'm IT, which means I send emails sometimes and stuff like that.
for Patrick.
Yeah, for Patrick.
Instead
Uh,
of this, you get
It would be that easy. I mean, it really would. I mean, they've got public Wi-Fi. Well,
The public Wi-Fi is
The,
separate.
pub-
I
the
can't
public
say
public
that.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is separate from
But-
It's separate from the city's network.
the password to the city's network is not a 15 digit random numbers and letters with capitals and lowers and special symbols. I'll put it that
Yeah.
way. You know what I mean?
Yep. So if it's a network that's broadcast, and I buy a $10 device off of Amazon, am I able to get on that device? Of course, I'll be able to get on the city's network. I'll at least see it.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it'll say hidden network, and that's the one. I would ping that network as a hacker. I'm just saying. I would ping that network, and you guys may not have anything but emails on there. There might be some other things that I won't bring up because a lot of other cities and municipalities and things probably do the exact same thing. But it's sensitive to the water industry, i.e., infrastructure items, maps,
Location.
yada yada. I won't go through the whole list.
Well,
There's
you
a
could
lot,
download.
right?
You could download the GIS map of the entire town that shows where every
100%, right?
anything is.
Anything. To include some radio towers that are shooting signals from water towers too.
Oh yeah.
That's a vulnerability, right? So that's still, it's not on a network per se like a cybersecurity incident, but it is still a vulnerability that I, as a cyber person, would look at as a vulnerability that, hey, if I had a handheld radio, I can catch that signal between the two towers.
You could catch the signal between the
tower
wells
and
and the
the
tower, and you could have it drain. You could have it overflow. Now there's analogs to that, of course. You know, you could go physically turn on the pumps, but then you would have to regulate it, right? You know, you'd have to have one person at the well, one person at the tower. But yeah, you could totally do that. That's nothing but a radio signal.
Yeah.
So
that's an issue that I we talk about. So I talk about like water system tampering, things like that in cyber. So I want to get back onto the cyber thing. So security stuff.
Well, and just to say too that we were just at an account, and they were talking about that they had a disgruntled employee that did that. They were messing with their settings
oh sure,
and
easily
overfed
done.
some chemicals.
Overfed chemicals, bled a tower.
Did all kinds of things.
Well, just imagine
because
going
they were
and
Drained it. I mean, just everything. Just a whole mix of stuff. But see, those are the things that everybody just wants to focus on the cyber, like as in a network. It's the only thing, but it's more than just the network. It's more of, let's talk about everything that touches that network or everything that touches the environment, because those are your vulnerable spots. So let's go back to more of what people talk about cyber. Internet.
You only ate half your sandwich. That's so weak.
I can't.
I think I would have just hid
Do you
that
want
before we
some?
I
started.
can't eat.
I don't mean
Do
to
you
be in
want
the
it?
side. No, we'll talk about that off camera. you ain't never gonna get no sponsorship from Boss Hog with half a
I
cent.
can't. I'm full.
You little piggy. You ain't the hog. Oh Lord.
I
Should've
saw you
got the-
tap him like.
I keep staring at it like hoping you'll take a bite one of these days,
I
but I
can't.
think you're full up.
I got time schedule here to make sure that I
Should've
don't.
got the
Kids menu?
pass
3
you
little
lunch.
piggies.
That's right, the 3 little piggies.
Do they really have that over there?
I'm sure they've
No,
got
but they
something.
should for you.
They'll make something for you.
It's so messed up. Anyway, do y'all have
Not
any?
squirrel.
I'm gonna go squirrel. Do y'all have any kind of cybersecurity training that you do?
I went to one.
No, I'm talking about for the city.
Yeah, I went. Me and the police chief went to one.
Did y'all train others on that?
No, I ain't smart enough to.
So, I know that you said you went to a class. Do you know what you, at a work computer, do they have stipulations on what you do at work on your
No.
computer, on the network? Okay.
Did you
So-
not? Did you nod yes or no?
I nodded no.
Oh.
So I'm not gonna go into
Doesn't-
what I'm thinking in my mind here because it's probably too sensitive of a topic. But when you go to sites outside of the norm, which is for work purposes, i.e., to report something for the state or whoever, you open yourself up to different vulnerable things that are out there. I.e., as the military evolved over the years, you could go to your Facebooks and social media sites, but there's always a person and a firewall and everything to make sure that your stuff doesn't get compromised.
Right.
So
Make sure you're not spilling the beans to
always,
the
yeah.
girlfriend.
I would always
Bless you.
recommend that there's somebody that knows how to run a firewall that's going to stop the traffic from coming in for a city and going out. if it is a external person that's not just there helping you guys put a network together, yada yada yada, make sure that they know what's there, because that's vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
a big vulnerability. Let's see what else is there on cyber. Oh, that's right. For you guys, y'all take care of this of electrical too, right?
Yep.
For this whatever co-op, whatever y'all call it stuff. I won't say it, but do y'all use computer stuff to report? Do they send you cyber stuff?
Well, we don't ever get any emails. Everything, do we?
Well, I do. I get emails. About like possible cyber attacks, or they're hearing chatter about cyber attacks. And
There's a fly that's loving your
I'm gonna get
your
it.
hat
I'm getting him.
and
He's over by Janelle now.
can't help it. We're in a warehouse, okay?
You
we
hear
just
about
ate-
the cyber stuff all the time. I mean, if you're talking about like the emails, the general bulletins they pass out, every time you look, somebody's system's getting hacked or compromised or held ransom, you know, etc.
It's happened in the state of Kansas several times
Mhm.
already.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
national news on cities, large cities, and one I'd say medium-sized city in the state of Kansas, they got attacked. Not only that, and their hospital.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it affected a lot of people.
Well, they just had the used car whatever system that all the used car lots use to like do transactions and
Yeah.
stuff just got held ransom last week or something like that.
Oh, wow.
So what do you think the problem is with that? Do you think it's
People
I
are
mean,
assholes.
people are assholes? I'm talking about
You're not wrong.
say
How do they
those
get the key
cyber.
in?
Yeah, no, I'm saying like, what is the problem with, you know? Is it a mentality issue? Like people are like, it'll never happen to me.
Part of it.
I think it's just
Yes, I think that's it.
You think that's it?
There's my age and older are like, this is a pain. It's stupid. I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to deal with it. I don't want to have to deal with login codes and multi-factor authentication. Like, it's just a pain in the ass, and I don't want to have to do it.
There is easy ways that are cybersecurity. Yes, it costs a little bit more to get rid of all those passwords.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One would be using a zero authentication. Basically, you push a code to your phone, and that's your login. All your passwords are stored as your device is your multi-factor, and that's it. Not, it is still meets the requirements of your MFA because
And it's very simple.
and it's very super simple. You don't have to have.
Thank you.
You don't want me wiping my nose on my hand?
Oh,
and
you
then-
can, absolutely.
pants.
I
That's
just-
not gonna look good on YouTube.
I just didn't know if that was
Why'd
good.
you
or
hand?
not.
Why'd you hand it to me?
Is he getting soft and sensitive?
That ain't
Oh,
always,
like
that's
these-
not the only spot he leaks from. Trust me.
It's puffs,
A
puffs,
puffs
plus.
A nose in need deserves
There's
puffs
puffs in
indeed.
I only provided
Yeah.
that for you guys.
I only get you the good stuff.
So
So, but I mean,
Quit
if that's a
school.
mentality, if it's a mentality issue, what can we do as an industry? Because that's my big thing is I want to be able to, you know, you go to these conferences, you go to different places, and I start talking about firewalls, and I talk about security of, you know, buy my product, and it goes way over the
Oh, yeah,
operator's
you're
heads.
way over my head.
Way. It's like,
you have
I
to
don't
make
know
it
what the hell
as
a
simple
firewall
and
is.
streamlined as possible. They don't want to hear none of that. They
Is
want to
this
say, I'm gonna come to you with, or like you were talking about multi-factor authentication. I mean, they've got the USB keys now where you plug it into your computer like a key, and that has your.
You don't like that.
No.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. It's
Yes, they do have
It's
dongles.
simple.
They had a dongle for it. Yeah.
It's simple in theory, and so all the old folks that are in water systems are predominantly ran by older people. The median age is like in their 50s, I think, is what they said at the water show.
Mid to late 50s.
Mid to late 50s, median age,
Mhm.
right? So you're going to have to make it as stupid simple as possible if you're going to try and sell. They don't want to hear buzzwords. They don't want to hear you blow a bunch of smoke up their butts because most of them are very down to earth, salt of the earth people, simple
Yeah,
people.
makes
folks.
sense.
So they want a simple solution, and you better be able to do it. And they don't want to have to mess with it. They don't want to have to configure it. They want plug and play.
Well, and
Yeah.
I think on top of that, the cost. I mean, with everything
Yeah,
coming
that's
down the
another
pipe,
big problem.
with everything, the last thing these districts and everybody want to hear is, okay, you're gonna have to spend another $25,000
Yeah.
for security
Mm-hmm.
on top of everything else that you're gonna have to pay for now.
But doesn't the state give out money for that? I'm pretty sure during the
There's
water.
only
There's-
so much money.
I have no idea.
They give you
There's-
for.
There's a lot of grants available, but they're going to low income
Go ahead.
areas.
It's okay.
Like, our area doesn't, we don't qualify.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Especially, yeah.
the people end up footing the bill, which is bad because already the cost of everything's high. So
Yeah.
Well, and couple that with the fact that the scams are getting more believable slowly,
Oh,
slowly but
they're
surely.
good.
AI.
Well, I mean, I'm dealing with them too, where you get a text message and it'll call you out by name,
hmm
and it'll say that I'm so and so, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't know who that is, and they're like, hey, do you have a second? That's all they ask is, do you have a second? Yeah, I got a second. Who is this? Hey, it's so and so, somebody that you know, and then they're asking, hey, can you go and grab this? I'm kind of in a bind right now, and I mean they look believable if you don't know the number. They look believable.
Well, there's a website where you can go now and upload a video of Janelle and Marvell talking, and they can take your voice out of that video and make a deep fake with your voice on it and
Of
make it be
course.
believable.
Of course.
So,
So that's all part of the vulnerable things that are happening and things like that. We could go into an in-depth conversation.
Yeah, you can go squirrel on that for a long
I got
time.
a real simple solution. Where's the trash can?
No, that's right. You
Yeah.
just want to be not technology.
Yeah.
So again,
Go back to those radios.
Yeah,
hmm
radios are awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
as long as they're encrypted, and I mean, unless you're talking just about, hey, move the boom left.
Yeah. Well,
It's. I mean, that's super simple, but it's not like I'm not running somebody's information,
Yeah.
like the police
Right.
or anything like that. Like I want to know who this person is or whatever. But
the automation though in the bigger cities is so much bigger than like a little town like us. That's, and I think that would be where your bigger threat is. Maybe your bigger threat is with like city of Wichita. I can only imagine how much stuff in their plants is automated. I'm sure their chemical feeds are automated, computer
They have
driven.
automatic shut off electric meters, water meters.
Yeah, I mean
they got everything. Yeah.
So even if somebody could hack in, which I'm sure it wouldn't be very hard, but you could hack into the electric meters and shut everybody off. You could go within radio distance. If you got on top of buildings, you could get even further. Or you could even drive
Well,
around
they're
and
all
do it.
connected by a network. Every single electric meter.
Yeah, you could shut everybody's
one
electric.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could shut off the whole grid then.
Mhm.
And now
Yeah.
I'm sure that people could go and turn it back on. But
They always have
can you-
movies on stuff like that.
yeah, no,
The
The
yeah.
problem is it'll overload a bunch of stuff and blow shit up.
Yeah. Well, and the
Yeah.
same thing with the computers in all the
kinda scary.
transformers and stuff like that. They're saying that they're finding programs that the Chinese have put in the transformers. It's all conjecture, but they have been finding dormant code in the big transformers and stuff that they don't know where it came from. It was manufactured overseas. It's in there. They can't get rid of it. They can't figure out how to get the code or the program out of and it's just sitting there dormant. And you ask why, right? I mean, so
what if I told you there's some easy free things that you can do to better help yourselves in cyber?
like what,
hygiene?
Marvell? Pray tell. Let's go there.
There is thousands of resources out there for information security training. Thousands. They're free. There's a lot of free ones. You could even probably just contact Waterwise Enterprises for a free cyber information security awareness
I think I should
training.
be holding up a sign.
Free training?
Free training.
Hmm.
I mean,
Oh, wait.
literally.
My God,
Subliminal.
Oh,
that's
I'm
it.
sorry. Yeah, it's
Subliminal.
right on there. It's a little dirty, but yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
It's a working hand.
It's a working hat. Maybe the city can come up with an acceptable use policy to make sure that everybody that touches a computer does what they're supposed to do.
No TikTok,
No TikToks, no Insta feeds or whatever it's called.
Insta feed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing that would be a good one is actually passing out those threats to everybody when you get them to everybody else, or when Rob gets them, or whoever gets them, the chief of police gets them, pass them out so that everybody knows, hey, this cyber incident happened. If I see something, I pass it out. You know, if it's something that touches close to home for us, it's like, hey, look at this thing. You know, I got it from this source. It's about being on all the thousands, which as a cyber guy, I'm on a whole bunch of different government feeds when they send out all these security incidents that happen, or this vulnerable thing, i.e. There's a multi-factor that is very vulnerable right now that I think a lot of people use. As of this morning, our stuff went down at my employer. So I'll just say that it's kind of scary because it can happen to anybody.
Well, they're always out there trying. They're always out there probing the walls. I mean.
And then as a smaller group, you would think that you would not be a target. But I can tell you that even if a medium-sized city is getting targeted, well, what is the best bang for a buck is go get us a bunch of small fish and surround that city. You know, it's happened.
Nice.
Texas was like the biggest one, the last big small city that got. There was a city down there that got hit that was small, about the same size as this.
Well, it's all about red teaming it, right? I mean, if you were a hacker, where would you go? You would think, okay, everybody in the big cities knows they're keen on getting stuff hacked. Well, now I'm going to go to all the smallest cities I can get to.
Yeah.
And go around and try and hack all the smallest cities, you know?
It's
like
a lot easier.
And I'm going to put this in the back of your head. If it's water, what other resources are on that network besides for water? You know, we're supposed to talk about water cybersecurity, but I'm talking about all the other things that are on your network that all could get affected, i.e. something that hits your pocket every other Friday or however often. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Payroll.
Yeah.
It just glances off. It glances off my wallet. As soon as it goes.
Wait,
well,
where's my wife? She gets that.
You're right. And all of these circles intersect with one another. Everything's what can't you hop on nowadays? And right below your login, password, and username, you have the ability to log in with Google, right? So everything's tied to Google. Everything's tied to Google. All your social
Google,
media, all of your pictures,
Microsoft or some sort.
everything is interconnected. So you could attack one thing and get into a lot of different things easily, right? Yeah. Especially with people not diversifying their passwords and stuff like that, or updating their passwords, or every time I get Credit Karma will email you and say, your so-and-so's been found in a data breach, right? They scraped some site and got my login information. Well, I'll go change all my logins. And they may not be, I can't come up with that.
You're young, but what about the older folks like myself, Patrick?
Well, that's just,
I just use
That was rude.
Well, you are the oldest one here.
earlier.
He is the oldest one here.
Yeah,
I said
older folks. I said myself first.
That's true. He did. He did.
I
Well,
just
I
added
said earlier,
Patrick in
some
there.
people are assholes.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You're not supposed to use the same password for everything?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my gosh.
You mean it's not like your
Open
last
Sesame?
name one?
Don't use password.
Password. Yeah.
Open Sesame?
Yep. ABC 1 2 3.
Open.
Open.
1 2 3.
Exclamation point.
Yeah. That's not my password, by the way. That's we don't use any of those. I'm just saying.
It won't
I don't
be
know
mine
what
after today.
Yeah. That's a good question. I don't know what the answer to that is. You better either get with the times or pay somebody to do it for you on your behalf, because it's at the rate that all this stuff is speeding up, and it's only going to get worse, right? We're coming into election season, and you don't think people are going to be trying to tamper with stuff?
Yeah.
It's about to be prime time of entities trying to mess with your
100%.
your stuff. So you better watch it.
Yeah, and talk to anyone who's ever had their identity stolen. It is
a nightmare.
A nightmare.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
and it's
won't
just
steal
a
mine
continuous
because it ain't
nightmare.
worth anything.
That's true.
They'll be like, giving it back here, take it back.
I'll be like,
Bill collectors will start going after them.
Go ahead and go to work for me now.
Yeah.
If you want my credit, go get it.
I may be looking at my cheat sheet over here to make sure I hit as many topics as I can in this short amount of time. So,
Did we hit everything you wanted? You got what else you got?
I'm looking.
Let's go. You're only on number 2.
No, there's a
He's
lot
only on
of
number 2.
topics here.
We would also like to be sponsored by Ghost. Brought to you by today's sponsor, Ghost.
Electric lemonade.
Electric lemonade. Not one of my favorites, actually. Meh.
Well, so much for your sponsorship.
Well, I'm not
I know
putting
it.
that on there.
Blurb that
Here,
out.
let me help you with that.
Yeah. I'll hunt with any old dog. I don't care. I'll drink it.
He's like, beggars can't be choosers.
Nope. You're absolutely right.
Does that look familiar?
So, no, we don't have that.
What
I
game
know,
is that?
but
Is that
there's
Mon-
somebody that does. That you.
That's a big city.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
User access
I know exactly
controls.
what that is.
I do too. But I can tell you now.
And
This
they probably check their
picture
email
is
with that
pretty
computer.
close.
Mhm.
This computer is pretty close to one that, like I said, you guys are operators for us too, right? And there's an account that has something similar to that.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. And there's all sorts of pop-ups and stuff every morning when you shake the mouse to look at it that are things that are tied to the computer that you may be better without it tied to the computer kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Did you have to use a password to get on there?
No.
Yeah, it's called shake the mouse.
Yeah.
That's the password.
The shake the mouse password.
If you don't shake the mouse, you might think it's off.
How many? I'm just gonna guesstimate in this area. I mean, in the, let's just say because we're in Kansas. How many other places do you know that probably have that exact same thing? Just
90
guesstimate. Give me a
I know
percentage.
3 computers in my office that you just shake to turn on.
I have a password on my computer. Thank you very much.
He's like, oh no.
As an IT professional, I do have a password.
As you do for your
Oh, yeah.
stuff, for your
It's
computer?
like 6 digits long too. So
6.
yeah,
6
you
is
got to be
minimal.
pretty big brain to get in my computer.
That's minimal.
Just
You know the
You
government
only count
actually
up to 6.
CISAs.
Yep.
I think it's up to 10 to 15 characters now.
That's getting kind of hard to remember, but I can probably eke out a couple more digits.
Yeah.
I think
What is it? What does the keyboard go to? 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if I put 7, 8, 9 on the end,
Zero.
zero. So,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You can't
Let's see if
just
you
go,
can hack in. Well, let's see if you can hack. Let's see what you can do.
I'm not. I ethical hack. I don't do anything that I don't have a contract for,
well,
because that is illegal.
yeah.
Well,
I don't want to go to jail.
Infers, like when I enter fire department runs, it's a 10-digit code plus
I'm
at least one number plus special
symbol,
digit
yeah.
plus multi-factor, so it sends an email
Yep.
with a code, and you have to change it every, I don't know, 2 or 3 months.
That
It's
makes
a real
sense.
pain in the ass.
It is. I get it. I definitely get it. But
Secure.
it's secure,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and they're keeping their stuff secure.
Well, that's, yeah, I mean,
And that's
obviously the federal government's doing a pretty good job of doing that.
Yeah.
And it's filtering down slowly, I think.
It is. It is. It's just going to take some time to get to smaller.
Yeah, small communities.
And it also is. I think it's a culture thing, like we talked about. That if you don't,
Not enough people have been negatively affected by a hack yet.
That's right. It's more of a physical attack of some, stupid idiot out there in the
Mhm.
country that's like,
Shooting up transformers. or
yeah,
something.
shooting a transformer or
The water tower.
like, I wonder what's in this building.
Yeah.
You know, and walk into the brick building or crawl through a window and it's like, I'm just gonna go through and trash the place and take the logs. These are cool. Let's look through these logs. We might know of an account like that where they crawl through a window and
Yeah.
Stole some
stole
tools.
some tools and the logs and
Why?
and it literally was building. Well, in less than a half mile
Mhm.
is the next well.
Yeah.
They only hit this one. They didn't go down the street and get the other one,
Yeah.
which was
So they didn't know what
so
they
it's
Yeah.
not
They
like
did-
it was.
they
it's not-
weren't-
No,
They
it's
weren't
a
trying to do anything to the water system.
nefarious users.
They
at
could
that
have just
point.
turned dials on chemical feed pumps. And,
Oh yeah, 100%.
Do you guys remember? I think it was in Texas, but there was a big, like one of them huge power,
Big. Yeah.
Huge.
Big.
big and huge.
Large.
I'm trying to think of what. No, I was trying to think of what size electric line it
I
was.
feel like we're on a
But they
roll.
toppled that tower over.
Transmission line.
Yeah, it was one of the
Where?
transmission lines in.
North Carolina or South Carolina?
It was one of them recently where they knocked it over and it shut off like buku. It shut off a ton of people, and all it was a bunch of rabble rousers, and they went and figured. But that's the thing. If we're smart enough to figure out that
I know
maybe
his word choice is
I was like,
great.
rabble rousers. Can you thus explain what a rabble?
a rabble rouser, a ne'er do well, you know what I mean, a vagrant,
Troublemaker.
uncouth, barbaric, preposterous. But you got to think it doesn't take much to figure out how to do devastating damage to things, and you got to think. I think of protesters, and I think of people going out there, maybe not even protesters, but people that are in that group, but they're really just there to do. They don't care about the movement. They don't care one way or the other, but they're there just to tear stuff up.
Just use an excuse.
So you imagine inside the pump house that might have a lock on it. Inside is the main line that feeds the entire town.
Yep.
So if I went in there and wrapped a chain around it and drove out with my truck, I just broke the entire line that feeds town of what? And the only thing stopping me is a little window up there or a, padlock on the door.
Yep.
And you got to think that in these groups of people that are out to do bad stuff, there's probably one or two people that have worked for a utility company.
That
once or
knows
twice.
what's going on.
Yeah.
It's
Wouldn't
true.
you assume that? And then wouldn't you logically assume from that, maybe we should do a little bit more to protect our stuff?
Do you think we should have cameras on our well house?
No.
Okay, good.
No cameras. Never.
I didn't want
I pee around the corner of the well house. They can't be no cameras around there.
You can just admit that you pee
Cameras?
outdoors.
Well, believe it
Anyway,
or
God
not,
doesn't
believe it or
anyway,
not,
just saying.
you can mark that out. My face better be blurred on this. But and I won't. I know your
Matt
water.
Carlson?
Yeah. I won't squirrel too far off of the water thing. But then you think about substations and stuff like that, and you think, man, if I tied a nut to a coil of wire and hooked it to something, I bet I could make something spark. It doesn't take a very smart person to figure that out.
Yeah.
A
kid.
kid.
A kid.
Or even changing gas, the
It don't
gas.
take
Gas,
nothing.
regulators,
something like
anything.
that, yeah.
Everything has to be exactly the way it is. So
Yep.
it doesn't take much messing with anything
Yeah.
to completely, how much money, you couldn't imagine how much money you could, and damages you could cause just by 15 minutes worth of, debauchery. So,
Yeah. So on that note, like, if something does happen, say to you guys or to somebody else, what are there ways for you to prepare, or are you prepared for an incident?
I totally go to disaster preparedness classes like once every other year.
once in your life or something like that.
Whatever.
Once,
I mean, just as a requirement, you have to, right?
No, they're not a requirement.
Really? What about
do
if-
you think they should
say-
be, Marvell?
I'm just, hey,
I've been
Would
to
that
one
be-
I'm not a government official.
I've been to
I
one.
don't.
on electrical,
Mhm.
and I've been to one like
What about
Base-
water?
based on a tornado situation.
What about water? If something happens to
Yeah.
the water system, or to your water system computer,
We
Do you
don't
have
a
a-
water system computer?
That's where we're really lucky being so
well, you
small.
kind
it's
of
not a
do
lot of
now
things
if you're on a
connected.
network.
Everything's more manual.
Nothing's,
Mhm.
but no controls are tied to it.
No
You could-
controls, but information.
Okay, that's out of my wheelhouse.
That's why I said, But
Do
I
people-
mean, do
yeah.
you have something in place to?
Well, I know.
And this is
like
just for
backups.
thoughts. Yeah, like
We've
not
got
even just backups.
redundancies. Like,
Redundancies,
yeah.
right? You have redundancies for your stuff, but in case something does happen, do you have a emergency response plan for your cyber? If a cyber incident happens,
We have a physical emergency response plan, but
not that
I
I'm
would not.
on the computer.
I would say we do not have a cyber emergency response plan.
That's just, those are the things that I want to press
We hear about that now. Like,
a lot more, right?
yeah,
Cyber insurance,
like
and
our power
response.
pool
Yeah,
puts on programs and
go to one of them. I have to say that if you go to a cyber response class, an incident response class of some sort, where it's going to deal with networks, computers, anything that your infrastructure touches, which is a lot more than what you guys probably
it's a lot
deal
more than
with.
people think
Yeah,
when they first think about
it does a lot.
what does my work computer touch.
Yeah.
It goes a lot deeper.
A lot
than-
deeper. Go to one of them. I mean, I like to use the not scare tactic, but it's truth.
I like
It's more of-
tactics.
Scare tactic.
I do.
Scare tactic.
That's the big thing
I like
too. Is it's all so doom and gloom.
It
When
is.
you go to those,
It's like,
it's like-
damn, this shit is really, really
it's
depressing.
like they
See, that's what I like, because then I'm like, well, maybe you'll take it seriously. Because if you say,
Well, no,
"Eh,
'cause
well," I like
you-
doom and gloom.
You
I like
say
it.
they say, okay, this is happening, and you got 15 minutes to figure out what your response would be, and then 2 minutes later, like, now this is happening. It's like, okay, stop piling stuff on.
That's good. That's how you want
Let
it.
us
Yeah,
think through these things.
Think through it, and
not
then,
just get overwhelmed with.
But
too
that's
much
not how it's
information.
gonna. In
I
the
know,
real
but-
world, that's not how
But
it's
when
gonna
you're
happen.
practicing, you need to have that time to.
That's
think.
old man.
It's like a
old man.
You guys,
Old man.
hold on. You're
I'm outta
firefighters
here.
too, right?
Yeah.
You volunteer fi- Do you have time to think when you're at a scene?
No.
No.
That's why you practice.
That's why they do that to you.
That's why you take fire one.
I'll do the thinking. I'll do the thinking. Just make sure the blue comes out the end of the hose. I'll do everything else.
Thinking you do the doing.
That's right.
So just like you said, you got to exercise. Just like in the fire, a cyber incident class, when you go to those, they're going to do those responses where you know, and the practice makes perfect. I recommend you do it once a year. And then throw different, even if it's just internal, you throw Matt at a scenario and let Matt work through the scenario, and then you throw the injections in. What if this happens? Or go over to the city office and do the exact same thing, but you got to have a plan together so that if it does happen, you've already practiced it, we already prepared for it, and all that. So that's just my thing.
I've got an injection for Matt in my pocket.
Shit.
Insider threat, is that a big one for you guys?
Gonna be now. No,
You know,
it's like I said,
We haven't had.
No
that.
turnover.
but like you said,
Not
you know,
really.
disgruntled employee. You know, you get one of those. It only
Matt?
takes one.
You?
Yeah.
You
Just,
disgruntled?
I'm feeling a little disgruntled right now, Marvell. I'll tell you the truth. No, but it is true. I mean, imagine somebody. You know, you work for a place 20 years. You know everything about everything.
Yeah.
You know, how much money would it take to? I mean, you hear about that all the time too, right? People, other countries paying military members a pretty parsley sum of money to get classified information, and it, it gets found out, of course.
Well, they nail city clerks and city
Yeah.
employees all the time.
All the
They've been
time.
pilfering money off for
Yeah.
20 years. And
Oh, 100%.
they finally do a
That's fine.
audit, and the auditor figures it out.
Yeah. So it's I would say just prepare yourselves. Cybersecurity is a whole nother ball game. Do some training, even if it is a resource. Like when you go to like rural water conferences or anything like that, just participate in those classes. Some of the information is more than just a sales pitch. Every one I've gone to, that's what the problem is it's more of a sales pitch than it is a training. I want to be a trainer. I want to train people what you got, I don't have stake in it, but I want to protect you guys. And I want
Well,
you guys to be protected.
And then you get those guys wanting to one up the guy before him or whatever.
Oh,
Make it-
100%.
yeah.
And it just there's a couple companies I can think of right off the head, they're always in competition.
Yeah.
This person wants to do this. This
That's
person
not
wants to do
helpful
that.
because you don't know who to believe then.
Well, are you trying to help, or are you trying to get the next bid?
Yeah.
You know, I would say the best thing you could do is look at detach from being the employee or the city clerk or the whatever, and look at it from an outsider's perspective and say, okay, if I wanted to do malicious harm to the city or the electrical grid or the infrastructure of the town, what would I do? Where would I go? How would I do it? And then you view it from the enemy's perspective and you look at it all, and then start, doing things to counteract that.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
'cause that's what those people are doing. I mean, they're gaining information, and even cyber related, even if they just get onto our computers, they have more pieces of the puzzle that they can use. It's information they've gathered that they can use to go a step further in their plan. And then they get a little more information from somebody else's computer or phone. And then they go a little further until they get everything they need,
They're going to know every
And that's just your
requirement,
Wi-Fi.
every KDHE requirement for a water system just by looking through my emails
Oh, God, that's true.
and all the results of the water tests we take on your email.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's true.
It's
Yeah.
not all, paper, when it was just paper, you could still get the information, but you had to break into a building to get it.
Yeah.
Now you have to,
It's
you
all
can remotely break in to a system and get that information.
Get all the information about the grids and yada yada yada, whatever you have on that system, right? No, I actually just want to cut it because it's like almost been 40 minutes or so.
You just in here. We get long jawed.
I know.
Give me a
Something
boss
I
hog
like talking
Remy.
cyber. I like
Boss
talking
hog and
cyber.
ghost.
Oh
What's
yeah.
up with it?
Let's talk about Boss Hog for a second before Amy turns the camera on.
Back away
Can we
from the
talk
camera.
about Boss Hog real
She's
fast?
trying
What would
to
you like
find
to
out.
say?
Before you have to go back to work?
I'm gonna
What would you like to say?
answer a
Three
text
little
message.
piggies.
Go for it.
Hmm?
Three
You're
little
talking to the
piggies.
man that mowed down a Boss Hog sandwich in of about 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
It was that
Ah,
good?
By the grace of
I
God.
had to say
It
it's
is
really
always
good.
that
It
good.
was,
It was
very,
good.
very good. Look, you can still see
It's
mine.
never not
It
good.
still looks pretty.
Mm.
See? The potato with everything
Yeah.
on it.
It's sad that it's still
They do.
there, but it is good as a
They
sales
do
pitch.
that.
Janelle didn't eat all of her potato because she wanted to show everybody.
That's
And
right.
Marvell didn't finish his sandwich because he wanted to show everybody what the sandwich looks like.
Oh, the sandwich is amazing. You know, I'll have to zoom it in whenever I get to the
You ain't gonna
house.
zoom in on that? Like, there's 3/4 of that bad boy
Now,
left,
what's
dude.
in your sandwich? What's this?
Oh, this is pork, hot link, some beef, and a big ass slab of
Hold on.
bologna.
I'll handle that. You've got your smoked bologna. You've got your pulled pork. You've got your brisket.
He is the master of meat.
You are talking to the meat master. Did I say the slice of hot link all on a bun with some homemade mac and cheese?
Oh, yum.
What's up with that?
It looked delicious.
It was delicious.
What, did you?
You'll have
Wait a minute,
that?
you had one too.
I had one too.
Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, you had one.
it was my
man.
first one, and it was real good. I ate it all.
All right.
I'm,
Well, thank,
I'm a veteran of the Boss Hog sandwiches.
thank you very much, guys, for coming
Yes,
in.
thank you.
This is I wanted to get everybody your guys' perspective of what cyber is and what your thoughts were, because I think that's what we're missing. I think it's more of we're trying to guess, you know, about the bigger cities because they have a cyber resource. You
Yeah.
guys don't have a cyber resource.
Right.
So because it touches stuff, your computer does more than just your, you know, storing of your products or whatever, reports or whatever. I just, you know, it's those thoughts of you're not the only one out there that are like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of little towns out there with
Okay.
nobody to go to but themselves.
That's right. And it's more of, it's about education. I think more for the government because they're thinking of, hey, the large cities are the ones that are the target. Well, what about you guys? The guys that are down here, I don't want to do a cyber security thing when I don't think it's a problem. But it is.
Yeah.
They've got to figure out how to do it cost effectively, because right now we're getting so much stuff jammed at us beyond cybersecurity, just everything getting jammed at us. More paperwork, more reports, more requirements.
Well, for all the
More
old timers, it ain't going to
demands.
be able to be paper forever.
Yeah.
You think you're going to outlast it to where you can just keep
Well,
paper filing it up?
I call
away.
it paperwork, but it's
Yeah, it's all
it's all
electric.
on
It's
the-
all going to be
it's
that
all on
way.
the computer. But
Yeah.
It's only going to get worse from here. So putting your head in the sand and thinking you're not going to have to deal with cyber,
Oh, work's calling.
it ain't happening.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know.
and I think the mentality, you guys
It's-
nailed it when you said, don't think that it's not going to happen to you.
Right.
'Cause it
That's
can.
the fatal mistake there, ain't it?
Mhm.
you'll have to go down.
Absolutely.
Patrick
All right.
Kofer.
Well,
Boss of
thank
bosses.
you. I know Patrick had to take a call, so we're gonna go and cut this. Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
You and Patrick for coming. And for our next podcast is gonna be next month, and it's gonna be over.
A surprise.
That's a surprise.
Wait and
Let's do
see.
that. I think we're gonna do Light and Copper next.
Ooh, I'm out of here. I
Let
ain't
it go.
Lead and copper. That's way
All
over
right.
my head.
Thank you guys. Appreciate
You're
it.
Thank you.
But they're funny.
Yeah. They're great guys.
So what you got there?
I have some Watson gloves.
Oh man. So what do you think about Watson gloves?
I like Watson gloves.
That thing looks ginormous in your hand.
It really is. See? Yes. Yes.
But I think that you should probably find a size that fits you better, which days are largest.
Yes.
These Watson gloves, I have to say this. We started delivering in these gloves, and our son uses them in all of our trucks, and absolutely loves them. So I was out delivering yesterday and got to try them for myself. I know I'm speaking on our product, a product that we sell, but
And what product is that?
Watson gloves. Watson gloves is amazing.
No, I'm saying what chemical? What chemical were you delivering?
Oh, bleach.
Okay.
Yeah, it's bleach.
So a hazardous chemical.
Yeah,
corrosive.
hazardous. Yeah, very corrosive.
And how did it hold up?
Amazing. I actually was able to keep my hands dry with the whole coating here, and there's coating on the back side of these gloves. You know, usually I have to wear like a latex glove, which we carry those too. But
We do.
these are
Green monkeys, very nice.
really good gloves and they hold up pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, they can get beat up. They're waterproof on the inside. They keep your hands nice and dry.
And very affordable.
Very, very affordable. Nice. The Orange Crush by Watson Gloves. Their Stealth Edition is cut resistant and protectant. I mean, it's good. I had a good time with them.
You know, and the one thing that I love about Watson gloves is you'll see on a lot of them, they use recycled bottles. So they take water bottles, recycle them, and make their gloves.
Yep. So these are recycled also. There's a little tag that says waste not. So they use these, and I mean, it is amazing. I use these also when I was cutting our rose bush at our house, the scapegoats.
Yeah.
And absolutely just level. I didn't get poked by the rose bush.
What man doesn't want to get poked?
Every man doesn't want to get poked. I shouldn't say that. There is some out there in this world
I
that
meant
like
to
to
say
get poked.
what woman. Sorry, my bad.
Yes.
I gotta work on my jokes.
It
Anyway.
was horrible jokes.
Sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
what she does. She likes to be funny.
I'm a work in progress. Okay.
But anyway,
back to
yeah, so the scapegoat is good. A good protectant glove. It's more like a farm style to me. I think it's more like throwing hay bales or something like that. So
what would you use these impact protections for?
mechanic
Oh,
glove.
which makes sense. So
Which-
this protects your knuckles. And...
We have a client that likes those gloves. A couple actually,
Nice.
don't we? We do, right? Over
Yeah.
at the car lots. Car lots. Their mechanic shops use them to keep their hands from getting knuckle busted.
That's right.
That glove looks funny on your face or on your hand. All right, I think that's it. If you want to visit our website at
www.waterwiseenterprises.com.
thanks, Mom, for the long URL. Always, every episode, I'm gonna say that because it
Yoda.
is so long. You can go there and actually purchase from the website,
You sure can.
or you can contact us directly by going to our website, or we'll put all of our the kids call it now, digits, digs, all of
I
our
don't know.
deeds, whatever it is, at the end in the credits. And for those that are listening to the podcast, again, it's www.waterwise, like the wise ass water podcast. It's WISE enterprises.com. Why were you pointing at me?
Because it's not AZZ like we have on our podcast.
No, it's we don't have as in our name. It's Waterwise
On
Enterprises.
the podcast
It
we
is
have
As yes.
Anywho. Cool.
Thank you guys for watching,
Thank you. Have a great
and
day.
we'll see you at the next next show.
Lead inventory.
Lead and copper inventory. The one that's
Just
supposed
lead
to be
inventory.
signed. Oh, I'm sorry. She said lead inventory. Lay lead.
Lead.
All right.